Wow, that finale of A Man on the Inside. It really kept me guessing right up until the end.
Mm.
It all started with this missing heirloom, and then things just spiral out of control from there.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely a wild ride. Just when you thought you had it figured out, ma'am, another twist.
Right. Like, who could have guessed Gladys was the one behind it all?
I know you'd think in a retirement home, a missing heirloom would be like
Yeah.
a pretty open and shut case. But this show really turned that expectation on its head. And I think it was really smart of them to use that, to get us thinking about something we don't always talk about, which is memory loss.
Yeah, that's true. At first, I was so focused on, like, okay, who are the suspects? Where are the clues? That I totally forgot about Gladys. And Charles, too, was so sure he was dealing with, like, this criminal mastermind.
Yeah.
But as he got to know Gladys, he realized there was a much deeper story there.
Exactly. And, Charles's own experiences with his late wife, who struggled with memory loss, really helped him connect with Gladys and understand what was going on.
It's like those memories of his wife gave him this new perspective. On Gladys's situation, he realized she wasn't stealing out of malice, but because she was dealing with something beyond her control.
Right. And I think the show did a really great job of weaving that personal journey of Charles's into the whole mystery. It added this layer of complexity and emotion to the story.
Absolutely. But, solving the mystery came with a price. When Charles revealed the truth to his friends at Pacific View, oh, man, it did not go over well. They felt so betrayed, especially Calbert.
Yeah, that was a really tough scene. They had all welcomed Charles into their lives, and to find out he'd been sort of deceiving them the whole time, it really shook their trust.
It made them question their whole friendship. And Charles had to face the consequences of his actions.
Yeah, he couldn't just brush it under the rug. And, on top of that, he was also dealing with his own personal baggage. Remember how he was avoiding the memory care unit?
Yeah.
He had to confront those feelings, those memories of his wife, in order to really move forward, both with the case and with his own healing.
It was a huge turning point for him. By facing those difficult emotions, he could finally start to grieve and accept that life goes on.
Exactly. It's not just about moving on. It's about growing from those experiences. And I think the show really highlights how these challenges can push us to become
Yeah.
more understanding and compassionate people.
Yeah, you're so right. This whole situation forced him to grow
Yeah.
and become more empathetic, not just towards Gladys, but also towards his daughter, Emily. Remember how upset she was that he'd shut her out?
Oh, yeah. That was such a powerful part of the finale. Emily helping Charles sort through his late wife's belongings. It was like they finally started to open up to each other about their feelings.
It was a huge release for both of them. Like they were finally letting go of some of that pain they'd been holding on to.
It was a beautiful moment. It really showed how sometimes we need help processing our emotions and how it's never too late to reconnect with loved ones.
And then there's Dee Dee, the administrator of Pacific View. She almost quit after learning about Charles's deception.
Oh, yeah. Can you blame her? She felt responsible for bringing Charles into the community under false pretenses. It was a huge betrayal of trust.
But Charles and Julie stepped in and reminded her of the incredible impact she has on everyone at Pacific View.
Yeah, it was a good reminder that even when we make mistakes, we can still make a positive difference. Dee Dee is the heart of that place. It wouldn't be the same without her.
It's amazing how Charles's actions had this ripple effect throughout the whole community. He didn't just solve the mystery. He touched so many lives in ways he never expected.
Absolutely. He helped mend relationships. He offered support to those who needed it. He even inspired Calbert's son to stay in town.
And in the midst of all this drama, we had Elliot and Virginia getting married. What a delightful surprise.
I know, right? It just goes to show you love can happen anywhere, anytime. And it's never too late to find happiness with someone special.
It definitely brought some much-needed levity, especially after all the emotional intensity surrounding Charles and the mystery.
Speaking of emotional intensity, let's talk about that scene where Charles finally visits the neighborhood, the memory care unit.
Oh man, that was a tough one to watch. It was heartbreaking seeing him struggle with those memories and the guilt over his wife's passing.
It's moments like that where the show's strength really shines through. It manages to balance the humor and warmth with these really raw and poignant moments, reminding us that life is full of both joy and sorrow.
And we can't forget about that ending. Julie has a new case for Charles. Talk about a cliffhanger. I can't wait to see what he gets up to in season 2.
Me neither. It looks like we'll be heading back to Pacific View for another round of mystery and heartwarming moments.
Well, that wraps up our recap of the A Man on the Inside finale.
It was definitely a roller coaster of emotions.
Before we go, we want to hear from you. Did you guess who the culprit was? What was your favorite moment from the season? Head to the comments and let us know.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more TV recaps and discussions on your favorite shows. We'll be back soon with another episode, so stay tuned. You know, one of the things that really struck me about this season was Dee Dee. She is such a fantastic character.
Oh, absolutely. She is the heart and soul of Pacific View. Tough when she needs to be. But you can tell she genuinely cares for each and every resident there.
She's like that favorite aunt. Or the cool grandma that always have your back. Always there for the residents, whether they need a shoulder to cry on or someone to celebrate with.
And she's not afraid to fight for what she believes in either. Like, remember when she went toe-to-toe with corporate?
Yeah.
Over those budget cuts. She was not going to let them compromise the residents' well-being.
Exactly. She's such a strong female character who stands her ground. You know,
Yeah.
we don't see that often enough, especially when it comes to how older women are portrayed. It's really refreshing.
She also has this incredible way of seeing the potential in everyone,
Yeah.
even when they can't see it themselves, like with Calbert and his son. She just kept encouraging them to connect, knowing that deep down, they both wanted to fix their relationship.
It's like she just gets people, and she knows what they need to thrive.
And let's not forget her sense of humor. She has some of the best one-liners in the show. Remember that look she gave Charles when he told her he's a retired bridge engineer?
Oh, yeah, she totally saw right through him. But there was also this kindness there. Like, she could sense he was a good person underneath it all.
And she was right. Charles might have come to Pacific View with a hidden agenda, but he really did grow to care about the people there.
He went from outsider to part of the family, helping mend relationships, offering support, even inspiring others to chase their dreams.
It's incredible how much positive impact one person can have.
It really goes to show you that even the smallest acts of kindness can ripple out and make a world of difference. Charles is proof that it's never too late to change and connect with others in a meaningful way.
And speaking of connections, Elliot and Virginia. Who could have predicted that they'd end up getting married?
Seriously, talk about an unlikely pair. But somehow it just worked. Their relationship was honestly one of the most surprising and heartwarming parts of the whole show.
They prove that love can bloom at any age, and that the most unexpected pairings can be absolutely perfect.
They brought so much joy and laughter to the season, and their wedding was just the cutest thing ever.
The perfect way to wrap up the season on a happy note. A celebration of love and new beginnings.
You know, thinking about it, A Man on the Inside did a great job of challenging those stereotypes about getting older. It shows that retirement isn't the end. It's like a new chapter filled with possibilities.
Absolutely. It celebrates that second act of life and shows that it's never too late to learn and grow and find love and have a good time.
It turns that whole idea of older adults just sitting around waiting for life to pass them by completely on its head. These characters are full of life. They're active in their community. They're still learning and growing and falling in love.
It's a really refreshing perspective, especially in a society that often overlooks older adults.
And it does all of this with such a great blend of humor and heart. A Man on the Inside is just one of those shows that leaves you feeling good. It reminds you that even when things are tough, there's always hope and love and laughter to be found.
I think that's a big reason why I connected with so many viewers. It tackles those universal themes of aging and loss and finding meaning in a way that's both relatable and heartwarming.
You nailed it. It really gets to the core of those human experiences with this perfect mix of humor and emotion.
And it never shies away from the realities of getting older, but it also reminds us that there's still so much to look forward to.
It's not about ignoring the challenges. It's about finding joy and connection despite them.
The show also does a fantastic job of showing how diverse the experiences of older adults can be.
You're right. Not all older adults are the same. They have different personalities and backgrounds and struggles. And A Man on the Inside captures that beautifully.
We see characters like Calbert dealing with his health and his strained relationship with his son, while Elliot and Virginia are embracing their freedom and finding love later in life.
And then you have Gladys, who, despite her memory loss, brings so much joy and light to everyone around her.
It just goes to show that there's no one-size-fits-all experience when it comes to aging. Everyone has their own unique journey.
And the show gives space for each of those stories to unfold, reminding us of the richness and complexity of human life, no matter what age you are.
Part of what made the show so captivating was the incredible ensemble cast.
Oh, absolutely. Ted Danson as Charles, he was brilliant. He brought that classic charm and wit we all know and love, but he also captured Charles's vulnerability and his emotional growth with so much nuance.
And his chemistry with the rest of the cast was undeniable.
Totally. The entire supporting cast was phenomenal. Mary Elizabeth Ellis as Charles's daughter Emily, Lila Rich Estrada as Julie the private investigator,
Yeah.
and of course Stephanie Beatrice as Dee Dee.
They all brought so much authenticity and humor to their roles.
The way they interacted felt so natural and genuine, like you were just watching a group of friends hanging out.
It's a testament to the great writing, the skillful direction, and the immense talent of the actors.
A Man on the Inside is definitely one of those shows that stays with you long after you've finished watching it.
It makes you think and feel and appreciate the beauty of life, even with all its messiness.
It reminds us to embrace our imperfections, to cherish our relationships, and to never stop learning and growing.
And it proves that laughter and love can be found in the most unexpected of places.
Perfectly said. It shows us that even in a place like a retirement home, life is still full of surprises and second chances, and those meaningful connections that make it all worthwhile.
Well, that pretty much wraps up our discussion on A Man on the Inside and its impact.
It was truly a special show that brought so much joy and warmth into our lives.
But before we move on, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the ending.
Oh yeah, that cliffhanger definitely leaves us wanting more. What do you think Charles will get up to next?
Part of me thinks Julie's new case
Mmm.
is going to take Charles outside the walls of Pacific View, and we'll see him in a whole new setting.
Oh yeah, like imagine him solving a crime at a dog park, or like uncovering some conspiracy at a knitting circle.
The possibilities are endless. It'd be so fun to see him use everything he's learned, his wisdom and empathy, to tackle those new challenges. I mean, he's come a long way from the guy who first stepped foot in Pacific View.
He really has. It's been quite the journey for him, full of growth and self-discovery. And not just for Charles, for the audience, too.
Totally. It reminds us that no matter how old we are, we can always keep learning and evolving. Every experience we have, every interaction, it shapes us in ways we might not even realize.
That's what makes A Man on the Inside so special. It celebrates that life is a continuous journey, with all its twists and turns.
It's a reminder that
Mm-hmm.
there's beauty to be found in every stage of life, and that it's never too late to start a new adventure, to connect with people, and to find your purpose.
It's a show that stays with you.
It really does.
It leaves you with so much to think about and so much to appreciate. And I can't wait to see what happens next in the world of Man on the Inside.
Well, that about wraps up our recap of A Man on the Inside. We hope you enjoyed this conversation and that it got you thinking.
What were some of your favorite moments from the season? Did any of the characters or storylines really stick with you?
Tell us in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
And of course, don't forget to subscribe. For more TV recaps and discussions, we're always looking for new shows to explore, so let us know what you're watching.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time, happy watching.